My husband Jamyang spent a month making this model so that we can understand what we are talking about here. I already put this up last week in Belgrade. I was in Belgrade because I actually won a Best Documentary Film Award for the Bosnian movie that I made. And I was invited to Belgrade to receive this award. And there I was introduced to some very interesting scientists, electrical engineers, working in the capacity of reigniting the works and the understanding of Tesla. Tesla was Serbian, right? So wait a minute, we have an instruction manual. Here we go, we start with 1A in the corner. Let's put 1A in the corner. 2A. I tell you, it's like Meccano at this stage. 3A is here. They have to go all the way in order to make a square. Is that 8? So that'll come back here. My husband had made all these pieces and then now he's explaining to me how to put this up. So I'm scribbling this down. Eventually this will get written up in a proper way. Now what we need to do is to put together these 4. So this is 1B, 1C. Okay, 2, 3, are there more? Here we go. I gave a talk at one of the departments of the university in Belgrade, and afterwards these engineers invited me to come with them to the Tesla TV studios, where they filmed me and asked me to give a presentation of building this model in front of them. So actually I built this model last week in front of these guys in Serbia. So I have done it once without my husband, is really what I want to say. So what we need to do is to get it in order. 2, 2 and 2, that's 4, that's 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, that's 1D. I think what we'll do first though is to scotch tape it. I ran into Office Depot in Mountain View and got some scotch tape because when I left India it was monsoon there and so the wood was a little bit fatter. When I got to Belgrade it was dry and hot and the wood shrunk and I discovered that these no longer held very strongly, so we have to make some changes. I got that very sticky strong scotch tape. So all along my work has always been very tactile. Eventually it'll get in the computer and all of that, but anyhow the guys in Serbia absolutely loved it. And they want to be involved in the project and they also want a model of it in their institute there, eventually. So I've already got one place on earth where it's going to be put. Actually no, 2, because before going to Serbia I was also in Bosnia and I talked with Sam about it. He said, Susan, 30 meters high, I cannot do. But if you make me a smaller model, I'll definitely put it here. I've got to tie these at the bottom here. I'll come round. So what we've got is a 4-sided pyramidal base. Now, don't play too much into the angle of the pyramid at this point. This is just a model. Of course, the angle of pyramid is this angle here is very, very important. But it's only going to be through testing and through further testing and through further knowledge from people who can contribute to this that we'll decide, it needs to be 72 degrees because that will make a such and such and such. Eventually, this is going to cap them here. You put them according to 1, 2, 3, 4. So point number 1, angle of pyramid. Still a question. Obviously there are a few factors here. Let's come back to the tunnel vision eye of eternity. You see the 4 pathways into the center. Imagine those as the 4 sides of this, corners of this pyramid. So the divine Vajra is going to sit in the center here, like this. 3D of the crystal of time containing the diamond lens doorway to infinity as the heart of it. Infinite torqued field.
Can I ask a stupid question?
It's not going to be stupid. Any question is pertinent.
Because I'm trying to extrapolate from 2D to 3D. The images are 2D, right? The photos.
Yes,
How are the photos going to translate to a 3D?
we're doing it. Imagine the four corners of the tunnel vision
Mm-hmm.
and look deep, deep, deep through the tunnel. Place your vision on the point in the center. See the tunnel?
Of this.
Of the tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now you go inside here. Yeah. I'm looking at the tunnel vision.
Okay.
I'm looking through the tunnel to the point. Right?
I'll stay here with it.
The teeth will do the job. So you see, we have our pyramidal frame.
And this, in your vision, this is the 90 feet.
Actually, we have an outer frame which we are going to build afterwards, because first we need to put the inner structure in and then put the outer structure on. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So there's an outer frame which according to the model is about an inch away from here, all around the edge, and that's the outer part of it. We have to do it afterwards because otherwise it kind of gets in the way.
Sure.
First things first. It's my husband's instructions. Make this first and then do the outer one. Remember I told you I made these 5 pictures, one of which was the union of sound and light, which is a double tetrahedron. Now, according to the highest tantric yogas of Tibetan Buddhism, the white tetrahedron is the male and the red tetrahedron is the female. Yeah? I could go on into detail on that, but let's just hold it there. So what you've got is a union of male and female. Yeah? White being the male and red being the female. That's our next little structure to build. So again, 1, 2, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B.
So here you go.
It's over here. So you see, in effect, the double tetrahedron is also playing a role here, but it's also becoming part of the structure of the device. I started telling you the story of why I made the Magician's Jewel. I was invited in on a project in London at the V&A Museum, and there were 2 curators, one employed by the V&A Museum and the other who was somebody that they were commissioning to do this exhibition. So this guy came to me and he asked, do you want to be involved in this project, and can you write a project report for me on how you would envisage an exhibition at the V&A. So we did this and we made a project report. I put in my input and then he put it into a standard project report format, and they granted us the exhibition. That was at the end of 2019. 2020, COVID hits, the museum is shut, and the exhibition is going to be put back several years. Anyhow, the exhibition that was granted at the end of 2019 was only going to take place in 2024. You know, these museums plan ahead 4 or 5 years. So the curator who was employed by the V&A Museum, Judy, you probably know the V&A, right?
I do, yeah. It's such a great space.
Yeah. So the curator who was employed by the V&A, who was like the kingpin of this exhibition because he was the Southeast Asian department head, he was the one who had swung the deal. He was the one who had got this project through and accepted by the board. You know, it's not so easy to get a project accepted by the V&A, right? So our project was granted, then comes COVID, museum is shut, the project is going to be put back X number of months, years, whatever, because of the museum being shut. But then the Southeast Asian department guy who was employed by the V&A died suddenly. Fast cancer, gone in 3 months.
Wow.
And our project was because he was the kingpin. He was the one that the V&A trusted to get this exhibition done. So now the outer curator, let's call him, who wasn't employed by the V&A but who was commissioned to do this project, came back to me and said, you know, a lot of things have changed since COVID occurred, so I think we will just completely revamp the project that we had put forward to them last year. Please send me 2 separate project reports, one according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead and one according to your photo collage art pieces, all these pieces. Because I had envisioned these pictures as multi-dimensional 3D holographic images hanging in the space that people could go inside and experience everything. So I had to go back to the drawing board too, and I was working on 2 Word documents, one for the Tibetan Book of the Dead and one for my pictures. But as I was working on this Word document, something from that one needed to go in there. Something from this one needed to go in here. And slowly, actually quite quickly, the project reports merged. And the magician's jewel was born. Because that moment where the penny dropped, that all these 8 pictures I'd made since 2005 to 2021 were components of a larger machine. Each of the pictures, plus the 5 that are not showing here, each were components of a larger machine. Now I come back to what we're doing here. I told you I'd made this one picture, double tetrahedron, meaning the union of sound and light in that picture. Union of male and female is what we're working on now. That's what I was really coming back to, is that point. So that's how the magician's jewel was born. It was born because somebody asked me to make a project report. I realized that each of the pictures were components of a larger machine, and then it went boom, 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 and I was just writing a project report. It came down like boom. I live in the Indian Himalayas, and there's an Italian fellow, a designer, who lives a couple of villages away from me that's helped me with a lot of my design work in the past. And I went over to him with this, and he helped to make some computer-generated images that I could add into the project report and give some visual aid to my writing. And now we go a step and we've got something which is actually tangible. It's much easier to understand what I'm talking about when we have a model rather than just computer graphics. But we have both.